Good morning and welcome to Trade Talks. I'm your host, Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq, and we are in the midst of the holiday crazy selling and buying weekend for the retailers. The next 6 weeks of the year are the most important in terms of annual sales. And today we have Evan Clark, who's a deputy managing editor of Women's Wear Daily, joining me in studio, and let's talk about Cyber Monday.
All right, thanks
for
having me.
All about Black Friday, now we're on to Cyber Monday. When did it get its start? Let's talk some history here.
Well, I did a little bit of research. I think Cyber Monday, the term started getting used around 2005, but it was describing a trend that already happened, where this was, pre-smartphone, pre-high-speed internet everywhere, where people would go and kind of enjoy their turkey and maybe hit the sales on Black Friday and over the weekend, but we didn't have this culture of logging in. So when people would get to work where they had high-speed internet access, then they would log in and start shopping there. So that's, for better or worse, that's where the name comes from. But I think Cyber Monday has spread out quite a bit. Really,
it's like cyber everything now.
Yes, it's cyber. It starts on Thursday and goes through, from now until the end of time.
So would you argue that Cyber Monday is more important than Black Friday, or is this just one concept lumped into?
Well, I think this is, we see this with retailers too. For the last few years, there's been all this talk about omni-channel retailing, which is really a way of saying we're connecting the store experience with the online experience. And I think really that's the phenomenon. Consumers go out to go shopping. They're looking at their phones. They're looking at their phones in their stores of competitive. They're looking at Target's website while in a Walmart. That's happening all the time. It's all one thing now.
And do you think is Black Friday and Cyber Monday, are they really the best days for online deals, or is it more of a marketing tool at this point for retailers?
Well, I think that there are certainly a lot of deals on Black Friday and Cyber Monday and through the whole kind of holiday season. A lot of that is planned promotions where retailers are strategically saying, we'll take a price cut here to kind of try to drive traffic or drive interest. I think the real deals we'll see will determine on kind of when retailers start getting a little anxious, and if things aren't moving quickly enough, or they're feeling a little bit like, wait a second, we have to clear out some goods or a certain category, and that's when they'll cut price. But I think right now retailers are feeling relatively confident, kind of, I guess, what cautiously optimistic they always say. Mm-hmm. And the inventories are in relatively good shape. So
right, that was my next question to you. I would think that it would make sense the closer you get to Christmas that you'd get better deals, but then of course it's all about supply and demand, and if inventory still exists, and something else that you and I have spoken about before, it's always weather that impacts these sales as well. I think it was a year or two ago, it was like 60 degrees during Christmas, they couldn't get rid of jackets.
Right,
so
right.
It's really based on the inventory, what's there, how close they come to the holidays. Would you agree?
Right. Well, that's I think the fun of the people who work in retail. That's a lot of there's a lot of moving parts. It's very complicated in that kind of regard. But I think there's also, don't forget that week between Christmas and New Year's. There's a lot of people get their gift cards or have their returns and come back. So retailers are really, whereas it used to be you could think about it from sort of Black Friday up until the 24th of the Christmas Eve, I think now it's really kind of extending on, to New Year's, and that's. Well,
plus you also have the extra day too. We have 3-day weekends for Christmas.
Right.
For New Year's, so you have the extra day.
Right. Procrastinators,
32 days, guilty as charged. Yes. Absolutely. And I'm also the one that walks around in this store and looks, okay, well, how much is it on Amazon?
Right.
Totally lumped into that basket. But I was surprised to see the amount of revenue generated online for Thanksgiving Day. Did you expect?
Well, I don't think. I think this is something that we've seen for a long time. I think people are, Black Friday has certainly been cemented in the consumer psyche. So. And with a lot of stores we saw a few years ago, there was a lot of hubbub about people opening on Thanksgiving itself. So I think people are trained to start looking at deals. I think everyone kind of gets the kids fed and, settles down for the football game, and somewhere in between the food and the food coma, they log on and do some shopping.
Are there specific purchases that consumers still reserve for brick and mortar versus online sales? And then to follow up with that, do you think, because of some of the cybersecurity breaches that we've seen, that you might get more foot traffic back into brick and mortar?
Well, I think on the first part of that, I think in fashion particularly, the web business is a lot of commodity stuff. It's things that you kind of know how they're going to fit. It's those Levi's 501 blues, or that you really have the size locked in. There's still a lot of returns of online purchases due to size. So I think that's one big draw where people are kind of going to stores, is where they really feel, no, I really want to try that on and see how it fits. So I think those sorts of purchases are reserved more for the stores, or people try it online, it doesn't work, and they take it back to the store. As far as the security, it feels to me that that's just part of living online today. Right. Of that, somebody is with all of the breaches, it feels like everybody's data in some way or form has been, compromised somewhere along the line, and we're still all emailing and shopping.
Which risk do you really have, though?
Exactly.
Right. So to wrap up, let's talk about some of the hot trends for holiday 2017. Who's making the nice list? Who's making the naughty list?
Right. Well, I think the nice list is for trends as far as which companies. Amazon's going to be on the nice list. I've seen several things that said I think they got half of all online sales over the kind of Black Friday, Thanksgiving period. So Jeff Bezos, I just saw before we got on the $100 billion man. Mm-hmm. I think he's definitely on the nice list.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us at MarketSite, as always. And traders, as always, thank you for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.
Thank you.